What's going on, guys? Welcome to Tech Tuesdays with your man, Heath. I am so excited to be here on this beautiful Tuesday.
Hey, y'all.
Queen Tracy is here as well. Queen Tracy, how you feeling this evening?
I'm good.
That's what's up. That's what's up. We got Queen Tracy, the super producer, in the house. Welcome to Tech Tuesdays with Heath. Remember, all thoughts shared here are my own. I do not speak on behalf of my employer.
Not at all, y'all.
I'm here every Tuesday at 8 p.m. EST to assist your pivot into tech. So welcome. If you want to up-level your income, you want to demystify entry into the FANG companies, whatever it is that you're looking to do
we're
from a
calling
tech
them
perspective.
mamas now.
You want me to start calling them mamas?
Mamas? Yeah, it's Meta. It's not Facebook. I bet you they didn't change their stock thing. Why you got the camera? Oh, y'all, you see what he did?
What? What I
He
do?
put the camera on him only.
You did that.
I didn't do that.
You did do that.
Let me fix it.
Why you messing with the camera?
There we go.
You said you were going to be on camera tonight.
Yeah, I changed my mind.
Okay,
it looks
cool.
weird. I need to update the camera.
Okay, cool. Queen Tracy and I are here every Tuesday at 8 p.m. EST to assist your pivot into tech, help you up-level your income, or demystify entry into the mama companies or other tech companies. So ask me anything. That's why we're here. And if you have a question, type question in the comments section. You can put a C next to it, or you can just type it out. It is all good in the hood. Hey, if you're thinking about a career change, or you're moving into tech, or you're trying to understand how to get into tech, maybe you're a new college graduate, maybe you're in a career and you're looking to make a pivot, that's why we're here. That's why we do the show.
Pivot. If you need to pivot.
Yes. What's going on, Stacey? How you doing?
Hey, Stacy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you guys banned. I know, so funny. What was that?
Somebody got banned.
Don't even know. Welcome to tonight. Don't worry about missing us yesterday. Welcome to today.
That's what's up. My man from Atlanta, Ralph from Ben Hill. That's what he used to say on the radio.
Wow.
You banned.
You banned.
You banned.
He was banned before this was even a thing, y'all.
Oh my gosh. So today I'm going to be answering your questions and discussing topics. One topic I'm going to talk about is, what do tech companies pay?
I'm curious.
Everybody want to know what the bag is. We're going to get into that a little bit. How about 5 strategies to make your resume stand out? Right? That's definitely what it's about, right? Differentiation, making yourself stand out from the crowd. So we want to help you out with that. We're going to get into that a little bit. Hey, if you want to do a one-on-one private session with me, see the link in the comments and in the description. You can reach out to me, and we can definitely make an appointment. So that's what's going on, right? If you're looking to understand where you are, you want to, you don't want to share kind of all the things that you're thinking about here on the show, that's fine. We can talk offline, help you with your pivot, think about some of the things that you can do to prepare yourself to get into tech. Maybe if you're already into tech and you're looking to kind of up-level yourself, up-level your income, right? We can get some ideas fleshed out. Or maybe you're thinking about, hey, I'm in tech. I've been in tech for a while, but I've never worked for one of these mama companies. I might be interested in working for Meta. I may want to take a stab at Microsoft or Amazon or Apple, right? And
it doesn't have to be one of those either, guys. Just so you know, I don't work for a mama company, and I do just fine.
I said that. I was saying.
I know it doesn't have to be. It applies to all those companies out there looking for. People like yourself if you're looking to level up your income, there's so many companies, so many companies.
There's so many companies. So welcome.
And what are we talking about on Pivot Point today, babe?
The pivot point, how to sound more confident, right? Is everything that you do.
It's important.
When you're interviewing, when you're engaging with your manager, your leadership, you always want to be confident, project confidence in how you're speaking and conducting yourself. And so we're going to talk about the confidence piece today. And if this is your first time here, my name is Heath. I'm a tech salesperson specializing in cloud sales. If you want to pivot into tech, you want to up-level your income, you want to get into one of the mama companies, I'm here every Tuesday at 8 p.m. EST.
8 p.m. EST.
As I talk about what's emerging in tech and jobs that are paying at least $150,000 annually and up.
They're paying over $150,000. They're paying less than $150,000, but they're also paying well over $150,000.
There are a plethora of roles in the tech space that are paying upward of $150,000 and more, and some of those roles are going unfilled due to a lack of skilled tech workers. So if you want to get the bag, you're in the right place. Let's get it. And if you're new here, definitely let me know down in the comments section. Type new you so that I know that you're new to the show. I can chop it up with you after the show and make sure to get what you need. So welcome to Tremendous Tech Tuesday with your man Heath. Boom. This thing was short and sweet, right?
Nice. Y'all looking at me. I got it. Oh, Lord. Y'all looking at Tracy. There we go.
Queen Tracy had the straight on shot. That was the straight on shot, right?
Don't forget to put your questions in the comments, guys. This is a great opportunity to get any questions asked about moving into tech jobs, tech education. Otherwise, it's just kind of hard. You have to listen to the whole thing. But we're here to answer any questions.
What y'all want to know? What y'all want to know?
How was your week, babe, so far? I mean, today's only Tuesday. It's running together because we mentioned this yesterday. It's daylight savings time. It's really irritating. Did we mention it yesterday?
Was that on one of our other shows, baby?
I feel like I don't have any. I'm so tired right now, y'all. And it's like I want to go to bed. I want to go to bed like an hour ago.
We did do a show yesterday too.
Yeah, but I'm just tired. I was watching Succession and it was getting toward the end. And now that it's almost over, when we're done with the show, I'm going to bed. That's how. But what time is it? It's only 8:00.
Is that what time it is?
It's 8:00. It's 8:07.
Because I'm here every Tuesday at 8 p.m. EST.
Here we go. and we're here. And we're here.
And we're getting into it.
And we're getting into it.
Yeah.
So the first thing you want to talk about is the best paying states or the top tech salaries in 2021. So the best paying states, or are we just going to talk about what is all this hoopla about tech income and what is the big deal, right?
Yeah, everybody wants to know, right? And there was a lot of highlight. The tech space was certainly highlighted as we got into the panorama when all of a sudden everybody was working from home and people had to leverage technology on a regular basis, right? People were using Zoom and WebEx and all of the Microsoft Teams and all of the collaboration tools, right? And people were like, yo, what's going on? This tech thing is crazy, right? I'm in all these meetings every day, and a lot of the tech companies' revenues were spiking, and it was just like it's been a crazy time, right?
Yeah.
So actually, in 2020, despite all of the chaos and economic turmoil that was happening, the total number of U.S. tech jobs actually grew by 60,000.
Yeah, how many jobs did your company hire?
60,000.
I mean, how many people did your company hire that you know of, like, just for this area?
I mean,
it went from like 1,000 to 4,000.
Yeah, I mean, I work for AWS, right, which is a subset of Amazon, and so just in the area where I am in the DMV, we added several thousand jobs just with AWS and Amazon in general. I believe added more jobs than like any company in history over the last year and a half. It was just crazy.
And the demand is so high, guys. Yeah. It's so high. U.S. employers are willing to pay for the right talent. So when they mean the right talent, they just mean, do you know what you're doing?
Hey, do you have some certs? Do you have some experience? Can you do some of these jobs that we're hiring for? That's what they want to know.
And the average tech salary is 61% more than the average salary.
That's very true. That's very true, right?
But it depends on where you live, too. It does. But still, no matter where you live, your income is more than those around you.
And so the context, I guess there is the average salary. So we're talking about like the average salary in America is like $40,000 or something in that range,
I don't think the average salary is
well, 60% more, I think, is what the thought process is.
Exactly,
right?
exactly.
So, you're talking about six figures or close to six figures in terms of the average tech salary. And it just goes up from there. And there are so many jobs, so many roles in the tech space that pay so much more than just $100,000, right? It would just blow your mind.
Yeah, let me go ahead and share my screen. The Bureau of Labor Statistics is talking about the average tech salaries in each state here.
Each state is breaking it down.
Yeah, let me move this up so we can see all the states. Wow. Okay. And then, so what they did was they highlighted the tech salary in each state
Yep.
compared to the average salary of other occupations,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, you've got some top paying metro areas.
Yeah, absolutely.
But for the most part, Washington and California have the highest average salaries. But if we just look at this, you've got Florida average tech salary is $82,000, whereas California's, of course, is 116. Yeah, y'all keep in mind this is average.
Right. So kind
This
of the
is
median,
average.
the average, right? And there's so many more. There's certainly people that are working in the tech space that make a little bit less than that, but there's so many more people that are making so much more than that. Right?
Move over this way, some baby. And let's see. Let me see what the lowest one on here is. It looks like it's like Mississippi is $71,000 and 720. So 71,720. I have a girlfriend that lives in Mississippi, and she will not move from Mississippi. She works at the same tech company I do.
Yeah.
She makes more than $71,000, but the whole thing is just, she's like, I live very well in Mississippi on what I make. And I said, well, look, North Dakota, $71,000.
She probably make 4 or 5 times.
Oh, I know she
70,000.
does. I know she does.
Yeah.
I know she does.
If you make 4 or 5 times $70,000 in Mississippi, you are getting the bag.
So let's see. This is business.org. So let's look at this. So okay, now let's look at this, y'all. So it says, let me move this over. There we go. So it says Alabama is the average hourly wage for tech workers in Alabama is $41.69, where the average salary for tech workers in Alabama is $86,000. $86,000 as opposed to $41. No, $41 or 86. So that's $85,000. That's 85% more than the average worker of all the other occupations.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, right? So like $40,000 is like $30,000 or $40,000 range, right? You're talking about 85% more. It's amazing. Right?
So why are tech workers so generously compensated in Alabama?
Because the talent pool is not keeping up with the demand.
Okay.
And it's the trend throughout tech. Right? What do they say? That everybody in America is understaffed, and if you're in the tech space, you're understaffed and you're missing the bag.
Right.
So what you want to do is you want to get into the space so you can uplevel your income.
Most definitely. So Huntsville, it says expected to see 25,000 new jobs in aerospace.
Yeah, they have a lot of aerospace.
They do
things
around Huntsville.
The defense, aerospace, logistics, those kinds of roles in Huntsville are very popular.
Right.
I actually cover Alabama in my day job, and and I'm always talking with companies in Alabama in these different spaces.
Right.
Right. But it's difficult to find people to fill those roles because everybody got a job.
I know.
Right. So now you're trying to figure out how to get somebody to move there, or maybe to work those roles remotely. Companies have to be very.
It would be
creative.
hard to get me to move to Huntsville.
Yeah. But if you want to, if there was a role that was connected to Huntsville, but you could do that somewhere else, then there you go.
But check Washington, D.C. or District of Columbia.
The DMV.
It has the smallest discrepancy between tech and other shows. And when we talk about our show on Saturdays, we do talk about that. We talk about how high the income is in the DC area. But $95,330. The area has the highest average yearly salary for other occupations in the country. And check this out, y'all. Tech workers still make 20% more.
That's big right there. That's a serious stat, right? Because people do well with respect to salaries in DC and the DMV in general, and I think that stat was specific to DC itself.
Right. Yeah, it was.
But if you're in the tech space, you're still making more.
Yep, you are still making more. Let's see if we move in here. So top 10 metro areas. You've got San Jose of California, 507% is it's going to be number one. That's where my company is based. The company that I work for is based.
Okay, so that 570% is saying that that's 570% more than the average worker in that area?
Correct.
Is that what they're saying?
And San Jose is at the highest because really all they have there is tech workers and service workers. So that's why there's such a discrepancy.
Okay, that makes sense, right? So when you're talking about the delta of the regular salaries in this space, in the area, and then everybody else who's working in tech, then you can see this giant chasm in terms of the difference in the income.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then you have San Luis Obispo, California.
San Luis Obispo.
Okay.
That's how they say it.
Okay.
Yeah,
and then you have Punta Gorda, Florida.
Punta Gorda, yeah.
So that's a tricky one for me, and I'm gonna tell you why. It's because it's the partner community that's in Punta Gorda. I actually used to work with a pretty large partner.
What's a partner?
I'm trying to remember. So the partner in tech speak, guys, is you have these big companies that are out here selling, but they're not selling directly to ABC company. They have these other middle companies that sell for them on their behalf and just to get more scalability. Yeah. So
service integrators.
I'm quite sure Punta Gorda, Florida has a partner.
So the moral of the story is if you're working in the tech space in Punta Gorda, you winning.
You the big man on campus. Then the next is Seattle, Washington. Of course, you have companies like AWS and Amazon in Seattle, Washington. Boston, Massachusetts. Many of the companies on the East Coast started their hubs in Boston area. Gulfport, Mississippi.
Okay, Gulfport.
So it's probably the same instance as Punta Gorda.
Okay.
With a partner situation. Brunswick, Georgia.
Brunswick, Georgia. That's down on the coast.
Yes.
Down toward the coast of Georgia.
And you notice all of these are coastal. They're all coastal. It's like if I'm going to start a partner company, I want to have ocean views.
I'm living on the beach.
Brunswick, Georgia. And then after that, Port St. Lucie. That's just another one, y'all.
Somebody said something to me about Port St. Lucie the other day.
Yeah, there's partners. Does Tech Data have big somebody has something there. I can't remember right now. Yeah. Napa. Who knew? I thought they just did grapes in Napa.
It was just about the wine.
I thought it was just wine in Napa.
Look, they got tech workers in Napa.
They got tech workers in Napa.
They get in the bag.
Okay, and then Mount Vernon, Washington, which is another part of the Seattle area. Yeah. And then national stats ranked by tech occupation annual mean wage, right?
Okay, so this is another piece, right, that we talk about a lot. Like, what's your role? What do you do in tech? Like, what do I need? What do I have to get into? What are the jobs I need to be looking at? So this is a great list right here, great statistical data right here to look at.
Yeah, so you've got actuaries. I'm going to make that a little bigger for you, babe.
Yeah, okay.
There you go. Can you see that better?
Uh-oh. Bring it back.
Bring it back. What did I do?
Where did it go?
Oh, Lord. Hold on. Let me do this for a second, guys.
It's all good, baby.
All right. Okay, that's not working.
That's good. That's cool.
Okay, it's doing something weird.
I got a music button right here.
Oh, I see what it did. No, I don't see what it did.
Did you like that?
Did you see what?
I was asking, did you like the music right there?
What did you pushed the button? Did you push a button?
Yeah, I pushed the button right here.
Why is it showing that? What do y'all see? Let me go back to this.
It's all good, baby.
Okay, so then national stats ranked by tech occupation annual means you got actuaries. That's has to do with insurance or counting or numbers. They're the numbers folks.
Statistical analysis in the insurance space.
Computer network architects.
Yep.
Okay.
Got to architect the network, right?
Software developers and software quality assurance analysts and testers.
We talk a lot about QA, right?
Yes.
That's one of the areas that you can pivot into tech if you have a different kind of role and you are thinking about getting into tech. Like, what certifications do I do? What's the easiest way to get in? What should I be going for, right? Like QA tester is certainly an entry point. And so what are those, what was that number that you shouted out, baby?
What? Oh, I know what happened. Hold on, let me fix something here. Okay. Show, I don't want the current application. I want Google Chrome. There we go.
Yep.
I fixed it.
Of course you did, because you're Queen Tracy, the super producer.
Then we got mathematicians, information security analysts, data scientists, mathematicians. You all see this stuff. And people always say, do you need to know math? No. You don't. I see now. I see why people ask that question.
Why is that, baby?
People, do you need to know math?
It's good to know math.
Yeah. So overall, guys, we just want to say,
just double clicking into that concept, right?
Okay.
If you are a student in
I
STEM,
don't know math.
If you are a student in STEM and you are looking for some career pathing, those kinds of things, a number of these top paying roles on this list are connected to STEM. So I just want to call that out.
Okay.
Right? Actuaries, you're doing a lot of data, right? It's a lot of math.
I'm in tech. I do great. I don't know math. I shouldn't say I don't know math. It's not my focus.
Yeah. And so to Queen Tracy's point, you don't have to be a scientist. You don't have to be a mathematician to work in the tech space and to get the bag. So I think there's two juxtapositions that we want to call out there, right? One is if that's your thing, if you're good at that, if you are good at STEM, right? Science, technology, engineering, mathematics, that's cool. Tech is the space for you.
Tech, yeah.
But guess what? If you're not a STEM person, maybe you're STEAM, right? Maybe you have a creative side to you. Maybe
tell everybody what STEAM is.
That's the same acronym, but with art integrated.
Art is the move.
Right? And so the idea is that you can bring other skill sets to the tech space, and you can still do very well.
Yep.
Right? So I, for example, was a communication student when I was in college. Right? I don't have a STEM background.
I don't either. I was poli-sci. I was going to go to law school.
Queen Tracy does not have a STEM background. Now you did minor in business, so I think that there's some skills that you can also pick up. But the point is that regardless of where you are, what you're doing today, the opportunity for pivoting is before you, and you can get into it. You can learn these things, and you can get into these spaces and go up from these dollar amounts that you're seeing in terms of wages.
Right. And so the other thing I want to show you was this. I love this website, y'all. It's called levels.fyi.
Okay, Levels.
And it actually gets into...
Come on, get on my level.
Yeah, it actually gets into how much you're paid. So I can go here and I can click. Let's click into... what do you think?
They have QA on there?
QA. No, they have product designer. They have product manager, technical program manager. They have marketing operations recruiter. Let's just look at recruiter for kicks and giggles.
Okay, let's see what the recruiters making.
All right, so recruiters, what are recruiters making? Median recruiters are making $150,000.
Look, can you look at some resumes? Can you go out there on LinkedIn and evaluate people that have skill sets and reach out to them and see if they're interested in interviewing for these roles?
Oh, look, I need to move our thing. Hold on, let me see something. Let's see. Give me a second.
No problem, baby. You good.
I'm going to put it down here. As I scroll, let me lock it back. Hang on, guys.
You good, baby.
Okay. You gonna push a button? Go ahead and push one of your buttons.
No, I was trying to determine.
So these are some of the different companies. ByteDance. Y'all know what ByteDance is?
I know what ByteDance is.
TikTok. ByteDance is TikTok. And these are actual offers from people. It's levels.com FYI. We're just looking at these little old recruiters, y'all.
These are just the recruiters.
So this Bucharest, Romania, they're making $30,000. That's a lot of money in Romania. So what is Facebook? IC5. So this is going to be the level. Every job in tech has a level. So this is IC5. They've had 1 year at the company, 6 years total. They're making $201,000.
Look, it's out there, y'all.
So what is that though? So you can go here and see the full offer. They're remote. Their title is recruiting lead. They are white and they have a master's degree. Okay. You can see here $153,000. That is their base salary. That's what they're bringing home in their check. The $25,000 is their bonus, and the $23,000 is probably stock related.
Queen Tracy giving y'all the nuggets this evening, y'all.
This is how you look at this stuff.
Yeah.
What's another one? Google. Go ahead.
Another thing I wanted to call out was some of these companies that we're looking at here are some of the mama companies, right?
Yeah.
And so,
but some aren't. Like, what is this? Volion Group in Berkeley.
Okay, let's see what the Volion
$210,000 for a recruiter, technical recruiter level 5, 5 years experience, 15 years with the company.
Okay.
Right. So you can go in here and play around. You can put different, you can look at sales, how different sales is. Those numbers are a little different for sales, aren't they? And that does not include your commission, just so you know.
Okay. Sales.
And then you have solution architect. A lot of people are interested in solution architects, right? And look at those numbers.
Yeah. So these are technical folks right here.
Somebody that never worked with Amazon but working for 20 years is going to make almost $500,000 being a solutions architect in customer solutions. Salesforce, $126,000. That's for probably a new person in Boston. That's kind of low.
No, that's not, I mean, coming out of school.
Yeah, coming out of school. I think that's kind of low. He's okay, I guess. IBM, Deloitte. Deloitte is a big deal here in DC. So this is the website you want to go to, levels.com. So just keep that in mind when you're trying to poke around and see what's going on with that. Let's jump into questions. But I did want to say the future is bright with tech.
I mean, you just saw some of the evidence, right? I mean, the opportunities are there, the bag is there, and the money is just getting bigger, right? It's more and more difficult to find talent. It's more and more difficult to find people who are qualified to do these roles.
It's like supply and demand, guys. And supply and demand. They don't have enough people for these jobs.
The opportunity is there.
Right. And then you got AR coming on the horizon. And a lot of the higher end people are going to move over to that, and they're still going to need people. So in short, tech is expected to keep growing, and salaries are going to keep growing also. Yeah,
they're like $1.6 trillion, I think is the number in terms of what the overall tech sector is worth, right? And that's expected to grow to about $5 trillion by the end of this year. $5 trillion space, right? And it's the fastest growing industry. And it just continues to go up.
And then it's projected to grow 100% between 2021 and 2025.
You know, this AR thing is really interesting too, right? The augmented reality, right? That's some of the things that Meta is getting into. And so I think that there are a lot of sub areas that will continue to proliferate in the tech space around AR and VR as well.
Most definitely. Let's see. We've got a question.
What's up, Stacy?
Hey, Stacy. Go ahead and read it, babe.
Are there part-time opportunities that are remote? And where should I look? And what are job description red flags?
Part-time? Not so much. Even if you work for a company already and you need to go part-time, it's really difficult. Yeah. And it speaks to what we were talking about earlier, that the demand is so high, they almost can't afford to give you a part-time opportunity. The only part-time opportunities that I know of are related to administrative. Yeah. I have heard of admins, like executive admins, job sharing. Have you heard of anybody else job sharing, babe?
Yeah.
And that's what it's called. It's called job sharing.
Yeah, here's the thing, Stacey. I would say that, you know, when you are looking for roles, you know, if you're going to do it big, right? Find your role that's going to up-level your pay, up-level if you have to maybe get a certification, if you want to up-level your skill set, you know, you can have one of these new roles in like 3 or 4 months. Right, if it's something that you need to get a certification for, maybe you need to do a little project or two on the side to add some things to the resume to demonstrate some results in that space that you're considering.
Right.
You know, you can see in some of the salaries that Tracy and I were just showing that you know, you could double your salary, triple your salary, quadruple your salary.
I mean, there is opportunity for part-time, but you have to get in first full-time, and then once you get in first full-time. You have more of an opportunity for part-time, but it's not really a part-time industry. Like I said, the only people I've seen that have done part-time or what we call job sharing are administrative. And then remote
No, I was just going to say that there are some things that are seasonal, like Amazon and some other companies have some things that you can do virtually to help them with like customer service or doing some things. There are those kinds of jobs.
Yeah, there are.
That exist.
But they're not going to have the salaries that we've been talking about.
Yeah. So that may be something that you want to check out if you're looking to do something remote, something part-time, something with some seasonality. That could be an answer for you as relates to that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the next thing we wanted to talk to you about was the average recruiter initially spends 7.4 seconds.
7 seconds?
Scanning a resume, y'all. I just updated my resume today. And I updated my resume because I have an opportunity in front of me. Mm-hmm. And I look at the description.
Okay.
And I figured out how to apply those phrases to my resume and my work experience.
Yeah.
So make sure you do that when you're looking for a new job.
Absolutely.
So when you think about that, you have to think, oh my gosh, how do I get noticed? How do I get noticed, right?
Yeah. Well, the first thing you want to do is you want to see if you can get a connection inside of the company that you're looking for.
Of course.
So that definitely is one way, right?
Right.
Another thing is that you want to make sure that the resume is tight, right? So what are the recruiters looking for? What does the format look like? How do you want to align the data? So
the first thing you need to do is get your mind right.
Yeah.
Right. I'm sorry. When you're looking for a new job, the first thing you have to do is get your mind right. Guys, I'm always going to talk about your mindset. Mm-hmm. So, you got to get that 7.4 seconds scanning your resume, right? So stop thinking so much about yourself and think more about who's going to be looking at this.
Right.
And what are they going to be expecting to see?
One of the things that I thought was interesting as I was reading through this, that a trend for resumes is divulging COVID status. Vaccination status.
That's going to be new, y'all. I hate to say it.
This is like a new thing, right? Mm-hmm. And so all of this stuff is new. We've had these occurrences with so many things that we've never seen before. We've seen over the last couple of years. And so this is one of them, right? So now maybe something that you include on your resume is, what is your vaccination status, right?
That's crazy.
Because this article was saying that if your vaccination status is not included in the resume, like more than 30% of the recruiters are just going to throw your joint out.
Are you serious? Is this a new thing?
Yeah, they're not even looking at it.
Okay, so that's something to think about.
They didn't say anything about it, so they must not be vaccinated.
What?
Yep. I thought that was really interesting.
Okay, you're going to make me go back and update mine again.
I thought that was really interesting.
So if you're okay putting that information on there, so it's not breaking HIPAA compliance because that's you divulging the information. So no, it would not break HIPAA compliance. HIPAA compliance is whoever's holding your information divulging the information. Yeah. So if you can tell anybody all you want what's going on with your body, but other entities cannot share that information. It is private. Like if I moved to a new state, right? So I have to get the information from my old state to give it to my new, because you go and get your mammograms and everything, and I want them to look at the same information. So I have to get it and give it to the new person. So no, if it passes through you, it's all open. Yeah. And that's why they can ask you. They can ask you what your status is. But it's just up to you. Yeah.
But I appreciate Stacey's comment there, right? Because it is kind of that gray area, right? But to Tracy's point, if it's you and you're divulging voluntarily that information, then it's not a compliance issue.
Yeah. It says hiring managers will automatically eliminate resumes that don't include a COVID-19 vaccine status. Yep. Wow. And that is as of August of this year.
And that data point came from resumebuilder.com.
Yep.
So just wanted to call that out.
So here's 5 other strategies to keep in mind to make your resume stand out. The first one is demonstrate flexibility.
Yeah. Like what are the top skills that you have? Those things are important to professionals that are reviewing your resume. So critical thinking and problem solving.
Communication.
I say all the time, right, is that I solve problems all day. I spend the entire day solving problems, communicating problems that I'm solving. Communicating when I need help solving a problem, collaborating with my team, All of these things are specific critical skills that are needed in today's space, especially in the tech world.
Right. And the other thing, so we said problem solving, critical thinking, communication, collaboration, and teamwork. Teamwork are very important, right?
Absolutely.
Talk about how you created results, got something done on time,
Yeah,
contributed to your organization.
Yeah, these are data points right here, right? Like what is it that you did? What were the quantifiable results?
Right.
How are you impacting the organization? What was that project that you did, and how did it bring some value to the org, right? Being able to quantify that stuff is so key.
If you worked remotely, I think it's important that you let them know that, that you know how to do that.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that's a key one as well, right? Because so many of us are working in virtual scenarios, but a lot of us are not. And so if you do have experience doing that, if you understand how to execute at a high level in a virtual environment, and that's what you've been doing, or you have some experience in that, you want to definitely demonstrate that, right? Because it's all about risk mitigation for the people who are looking at your resume. It's like, oh,
right.
They did this, they did that. Oh, they work virtually. Boom. That's 3 to 7 seconds right there.
Number two, present a compelling narrative. Your resume should tell a clear story. Like I have at the top of my resume, I have a small paragraph, like a comprehensive idea with certain words and phrases about my experience and my skills that makes me qualified for any position. Make sure you look at the qualifications for a position that you're looking for and implement that in, even if you just put in a paragraph at the top of your resume.
Yeah, that's really key, right? Because some of us have been indoctrinated into just kind of the chronological version of your resume. Okay, I worked at this place, I did this. That doesn't work anymore. I worked at this place, I did that. Right, and so if that recruiter, that person who is charged with filling that role, has to scan thousands of resumes, you need yours to pop, right? You need the information at the top. Hey, these are the quantifiable skills. These are the demonstrated results, right? It's kind of boom, boom, boom at the top, and then you can get into some of those places that you worked. So,
right.
So it's a great call out.
Right, definitely. So, and the other thing that I do, a little trick that I do, is I bold words that they're actually looking for. I bold them so that when they're scanning them, they see those words. So stay away from, you want to stay chronological, but at the top, put a little blurb about your contact information, your professional title, and just a summary, areas of expertise.
Yeah.
Then get into the chronological part of your work experience. And the third recommendation is to show your impact.
Yeah. What did you do? How did you impact the organization? What they're looking for in the experience section? What were the tasks that you were charged with, right? What were your day-to-day responsibilities? So I think all those things are important. And everything today in the tech space is storytelling, right? So make sure that you're telling a compelling story. Assume that.
Sorry, I was going to show you mine.
You good, babe. Assume that you are going to have just a few seconds to impress the recruiter, and you want the information to be clear, concise. You want your impact to be seen, any quantifiable results, any awards that you won, those kinds of things. You want those things to pop.
Right.
It didn't have to be just, I worked here, I worked here, I worked here.
Exactly.
Because everybody had a job somewhere.
Yeah, everybody had a job somewhere.
What did you do? What was your impact?
What was your impact? Right. If a project increased the company's revenue, or if you saved the business money, important. Format. That's the other thing that's going to matter.
So important. Yeah. Yeah.
The format is the fourth one.
Yeah. So we know that the format, we've been calling it out here in the last few minutes, right? If the recruiter, the person who's looking at it, is basically going to look at it for 7.4 seconds. You want the format to be crisp.
Right.
You want the highlights to be at the top, and then you want to move down into the data. You have very little time to capture their attention, and so you want to make sure that they understand your career narrative, right? You don't want to have just bullet, right? A short paragraph, give a description of your skills, what you are, what you've done, what your roles and responsibilities were. Use bullet points.
I use bullet points.
Yeah, use bullet points around the things that you want to brag about, right?
Yeah.
Demonstrate your results, the achievements that you have, those kinds of things.
Stay away from custom or overly intricate font styles. Keep it really simple.
It's not necessarily, right? And so I want to double click into that point because it's a small point, but it's so important. It's like if it's got this funky font on there, right? It's like reading Cam Newton's Twitter
his
thing,
font,
right?
That's his font. It's his special font.
And this special and this cool. But
don't make your resume.
But if that's your resume, that's gonna take me too long. I can't even figure it out. I'm gonna throw it out. I don't know what I'm looking.
You're gonna have to upload it in Word anyway.
Yeah, clear, concise, right? The cleaner, the better.
Your professionalism is really going to be demonstrated on how you present your document. Number 5 is don't forget a cover letter.
Yeah, cover letters still work. I think that is another piece of storytelling, really, right? And so understanding what it is that you've done, who you are as a person, why you think you'd be an excellent fit for that role, those kinds of things that add some additional risk mitigation.
It doesn't hurt you.
To the people who are going to be hiring for those roles.
And don't make it generic. Don't go on Google and just grab theirs. Customize it. Say something short and sweet, what you've learned about the company, what they're looking for in a candidate, and the role you're applying for.
Yeah, if you're trying to get one of these jobs where you're doubling, tripling, quadrupling your income, you have to stand out. You have to differentiate yourself. So make sure that you're not just doing the run-of-the-mill generic stuff, but that you're doing something to show that, hey, you're special, you're different, and you need to talk to me.
So I'll show you mine really quickly.
Okay.
Let me move this out the way. I keep moving this out. So, no, we're probably not going to offer resume views.
We can get to that in a minute.
Okay, hold on. So if you look here, like I said, I highlighted certain words that were pulled from what I was looking at, and then my work history, my title, very short and sweet, and then I bullet point it because in what I do, it's so specific, and so I needed to highlight exactly. So when someone skims this, it stands out. 14 years, well organized, customer-centric approach. And then I get into, and I bold-faced awards and everything. So you want to grew account base, things like achieve revenue goals. So I definitely did it according to what they said.
And that's something, Miss Tracy, boy, I tell you.
I like it.
It's almost like you work in tech or something.
Something like I kind of know what I'm doing, huh?
Like you kind of know what you're doing.
That's funny.
Oh,
That's
my
really
gosh.
funny. Okay, so hey, Reality Doll, how's it going? And Reality Doll asks, will you guys review resumes that are offered? Do you offer more resume assistance or services?
Reality Doll, let me tell you. You are a regular on the show. You're
Yes,
a regular
you are.
on all of our shows, but I'm not looking at your resume. And the only reason I say that is because...
Well, tell them what you do.
Yeah, but I just wanted to say the only reason I say that is because that's not my specialty.
Right.
And so you can see by Queen Tracy's format that she just was sharing with you, is that, at a high level, we certainly know what we're doing as it relates to that. But at the end of the day, the services that we typically provide, if you make an appointment with us, I can help you I can help you pivot from where you are into the tech space.
Right.
I can help you if you're in the tech space and you want to
improve your position,
maybe do some career pathing and up leveling your income or where you are and to where you're going. I can help you with that.
Yeah.
If you are looking to really get into some mama companies or something like that,
we have the connections.
I have connections. I have the know-how, right? I can help you with interview prep, those kinds of things.
And we know people that will help you with your resume.
And we do, because Queen Tracy and I have been in the tech space for 10 or 15 years now. We know a lot of people in the space. And so
recruiters, we know a lot of recruiters.
That's another way that we can help.
We know a lot of recruiters. We know a lot of people that will help you with your resume.
Now, having said that, I know a couple people that can help you with respect to resume and preparing for your interview and some of those other kinds of things. And so if you need that service, reach out and I can connect you.
Yeah, let us know. And Joseph has a question.
What's up, Joe? My main man out here in Reston, VA.
Is there a number of pages you will not exceed? I just keep it to 1.
Yeah. So I think if you've been around the block a couple of times, 2 pages is not bad, but I wouldn't do 3.
Definitely do not do 3.
Yeah.
I keep it to 1 because I just really make it compact. I'm going to share mine again. This is 15 years, guys. I don't have everything on my resume. I just have the last 15 years on here.
Yep.
And that's all they need.
Yep.
What else they need, right? I've worked for the job that I'm looking for the last 15 years. This is one page. It's a one pager.
Yep.
And it's a lot of information on there, but it's a one pager. So if you need to go to 2 pages, if it's all related to, if it's going to relate to the job description that you're looking at, don't worry about going to 2 pages, but definitely don't go to 3 pages. And remember what we said, 7.3 seconds, 2 pages.
Yep.
I don't think so.
Yep. So there you go. There's your answer, Joe.
There's your answer, Joe. Thank you, Joe, for joining us on the show during the live. All right, baby, you ready to move on to pivot point?
It's a pivot point.
It's pivot point time. You want a little music? I guess you want a little music. You're looking at me like you want some music. I'm starting to figure it out. I don't know. Let me see what we got here.
Y'all want some music? Let's get the people a little music. Pivot point this evening is to sound more confident, because it's a competitive world out here, and the last thing you need to do is undercut yourself, right? So you want to make sure that you're communicating in a way that exudes confidence, right? Anything that makes you sound less confident or less determined or less sure of yourself, that's not going to help you. That's not going to get you the bag. That's not going to get you to where you want to go, right? So one of the solutions that you want to be cognizant of is your words. And there are things that we say frequently that are termed as weak words. So I found this is really interesting, right? And so I think intuitively a lot of these things I stay away from, but I think that's just because I'm a fairly positive guy.
Very positive guy.
But sometimes you can say things, right? If you have a moment, right? We all have those moments where we're just like, if you understand what I'm saying. So that's just an example, right? It's like that's weak.
It is.
Right? You're trying to make a point, you're trying to bring confidence, you're trying to exude. So number one, the first phrase you want to stay away from.
Remember now, y'all, when we talk about pivot point, it's time to get your pen and paper.
Get your pens.
Get your paper.
Get your paper. Get your iPhone. Get your Droid device.
You ready? The first one is,
however you take notes.
Does that make sense?
Does that make sense? If somebody says, so-and-so, so-and-so, so-and-so. And
does that make sense?
So-and-so. Does that make sense?
Don't say that.
That's weak.
It's weak.
Right? So you're not bringing the confidence, right? So you have command of a room, you're sharing information, you're being confident, you're giving out the vibes that you need, and then you put does that make sense?
No.
Now you kill the whole thing.
What's something better to say?
Something you can say is...
What are your thoughts? I'd like your input on this.
Yes. Give me your input on my idea. Something like that.
Yeah. If you ask, does that make any sense? After you've finished sharing a thought, you're immediately giving the impression that you're not convinced yourself and that your idea is it's not complete. Rather than seeking validation or even just approval, you should be asking the listener or the reader or whoever you're talking to for their opinions on your idea, not to validate it.
Feedback from the group?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Confidence, right? All right, the second one is, maybe we should try... No. What should you say instead? How about, let's try this. Or, it's a good idea to try X, Y, and Z.
Yes.
How about that?
Yeah, it's pretty wishy-washy. When you apply it to your own ideas and your own suggestions, either you believe in what you're talking about or you don't.
This is really interesting right here, right? It says, up until the mid-19th century, maybe was written as 2 words.
May be.
May and be, which makes it clear that it literally refers to something that might happen or might not.
So we should say, let's try, or it's a good idea to try, not maybe. Stay away from maybe.
I like that.
Number 3.
I think this would...
No. What should we say?
I believe this would...
It's a little different, right?
Yeah.
But I think makes it weaker.
I
Instead
think
of
what we do in my corporate space is we're always leveraging data when we're making these kinds of arguments and conversations, and so we take the approach of the data says X, Y, and Z, and 1, 2, 3.
That's very good.
Yeah.
But if you're not dealing with data, I do that constantly in what I do in my position. I'm always referring. People always try to doubt the reporting. Or what I'm talking about, even though they're looking at it, they still try to doubt it. So what I go back to is, well, I'm talking about what the data says. We're going to refer to what the data says. We're going to have a data-driven conversation.
Yep, because the data's telling you something.
Right. So when you say, I believe this would, instead of I think, because it's I think is weaker than believe, very simply, right? A little bit more doubtful. And if you're saying something might work, you're not sure. So I believe puts you in charge of the thought and conveys calm. You know, it conveys surety.
Yep.
And even if you're not sure at all,
they don't need to know that.
They don't need to know that. They don't need to know that. What's number 4?
Number 4, I'm not positive, but... Or you might have heard something like, I'm not sure, but...
So instead, you should say...
you can say something like, but.
Right.
Say whatever you were going to say, and then but.
But, right. You don't need to add any disclaimers. You know, you don't start your sentence with, I know this might be stupid question. Don't ever. I hate that. Don't ever say this might be a stupid question. I don't want to sound pushy. You're undermining yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. It's an easy rule, but don't put yourself down ever, ever, ever.
Yeah.
Right.
Some people think that being a little self-deprecating is like it's a cool thing, or, you know, I think if you are a person who is just not mindful around others with their words or how you approach things, if you're just kind of a, what's the word? Not a nice person.
But it's...
Some people get into that self-deprecation to try to soften it.
No.
But really the best approach is being confident.
Yes.
Using strong, positive words.
Don't put yourself down.
And you don't have to put yourself down, and you don't have to put others down in doing that.
So run from, I know this might be a stupid question.
Yep.
Don't say that anymore. Say but. Or I'd like to ask, you know.
Yep. Absolutely.
Number 5 is I just want to touch base.
I just wanted to touch base. No,
just wanted to touch base. That's just a lot of words right there.
You wasting my time off the rip. Like I got other stuff to do. If you calling me, if you interrupting me from my day, if I'm in this meeting with you, what are we talking about? Let's get to it.
Yeah. How many times have you started with me? I just wanted to ask. You're starting from a weak position. Let's just keep it real.
I got 17 things.
It's almost like saying, I hate bothering you.
Okay. Click.
It's like, well, then you're bothering me.
You might just got deleted.
Then you're bothering me. So you can say, if you want to say something like that, just say, I want to touch base and say, I want to reach out and say, I wanted to follow up and say.
Yeah.
Don't say I just want. Don't do that. It's like you said. It's self-deprecating.
Yeah, again. Those are softeners that you can use.
Oh, this one I hate. This one.
Y'all like this one, baby? Number 6.
Number 6.
Needless to say.
Then don't say it.
Then don't say it. If it's needless to say, if it's needless,
it's literally just say nothing. Don't say nothing. If you have to start a sentence with needless to say, you shouldn't say it.
Yeah.
It comes from a long line of ironic phases when you're opening phrases when you open a topic.
Yep.
And you're not going to say something, but you say it anyway. Why do you do that?
Oh, goodness.
Why do you do that?
Yes.
Right?
Yes, absolutely.
This is another one. I have somebody on my team that does this one all the time.
Y'all in the meeting and they go, well, in my opinion.
This is another one, y'all. Because just don't nobody care.
Because we in the tech world, right? We make data-driven decisions. We're not talking about opinions.
No.
What is the information that we have? What does the data show? What has our experience been with this particular matter, with this product, with this service, with this whatever it is? It's not, in my opinion.
So don't say nothing once again. Cut to the chase. Remove the unnecessary weak intros. Whoever's listening to you, reading what you've written, knows, whatever. Just tell them. Just tell them like it is.
Yep.
And you're so right. That's a great point. There are a lot of unsure people in tech. People get to a point where they're scared to say something.
Right.
And when you're confident about it, just say it. I have somebody, in my opinion, we don't care about your opinion. What is the data you are trying to bring up that is conflicting with what we're talking about? Say that.
Right.
We don't care about your opinion.
Yep.
Just another one.
For what it's worth.
It's not worth anything. It's not worth a thing. Once again, say nothing. Right? It's another intro that makes you sound like you're not convinced yourself. You're not convinced about what you're talking about.
Well, for what it's worth.
If you're not convinced at your point, why should anyone else be?
I like it, baby.
So this one I learned from my mother.
Sabi.
My mother taught me this right after I graduated from college. And she said a CEO told her this many, many years ago.
Don't say sorry.
Never. Never, ever.
Okay.
Never say sorry.
Okay.
I apologize. I'm sorry, I don't do it. Excuse me. Excuse my tardiness. Excuse my delayed response.
Yeah. Yeah, when I use
excuse my misunderstanding. It's fine to apologize, but it needs to be done. It's not like you've done something wrong and you need to own up to it.
What I use is thanks for your patience.
I love that one. I love that one. But y'all need to toss sorry. Sorry ain't gonna do nothing for you.
It's business.
Okay.
It's business out here.
Don't even say sorry to bother you. Excuse me is shorter. It's snappier and it's less self-deprecating. Right. And then just the last note. Is this the last note? Let's see. No, there's more. Okay. People tend to think those who overuse I'm sorry are ineffectual and lack confidence.
Yep.
Ooh. Ineffectual? That's with an E, y'all. If you need more convincing yourself, keep in mind, right, that in the 13th century, this little fact, the word sorry was used to mean wretched or worthless.
You old sorry.
Get rid of that word.
That was Red Fox, right? The Sanford and the Son. You old sorry.
My husband grabs these memories from deep down in here somewhere.
With your wretched self.
I don't know where they come from, y'all, but he remembers some of the wildest stuff.
That's some Bible stuff right there.
And another one that's like it is I hate to ask.
I hate to ask, but
no.
I'm sorry, but I hate to ask.
Don't ask.
You got all of them in there.
Just ask. Just ask. What's the other one? Can I ask you a question? You just did.
Oh my gosh. Blank was developed to increase blank.
So blank was developed to increase. No, you know what you want to add in there, y'all? I developed.
Yep.
I mean, it's hard. If you don't toot your own horn, who is? Yep. This passive stuff in corporate does not work, right? If you say, I developed blank to increase blank, it sounds more confident because it uses an active voice instead of a passive voice. Yep. Always go for active. If you wonder why the boss is the boss, it's because it's not passive. With a passive voice, the subject is something done to it. With active, the subject is doing something, right?
Okay, Ms. Tracy, teach an English class
I can teach this now. I can teach this.
How about another one? If you know what I mean.
I don't know what you mean. Once again, say nothing.
What's it? They would say, "Say what you mean and mean what you say."
Oh, here, Joseph. Yes. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong.
No.
But
no.
okay, I'm sorry. In my opinion,
no.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
If you know what I mean, no, I don't know what you mean. Right.
Oh my gosh.
Right. And you're right, Stacey. A lot of it is habitual.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, please stop with it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard at first, but try to remove the I'm sorry. I'm so glad that the light bulb went off. She says, goodness, this is great advice. I'm a habitual sorry user. It's like a light bulb went off. I am passive, but with high honors and education in my field. Now I see why I never get promoted. You are right, girl. You have to stop saying these words. You have to stop saying these filler phrases that don't mean anything. It actually irritates people.
Find your power.
You know, find your power and jump into that and ride it. You know,
my dad used to say, "Walk that walk and talk that talk."
If it's gonna be a useless words, don't say it. Don't say it. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna give y'all another. Talk to him like you got $1 million in your hip pocket, even if he ain't got a quarter.
If that ain't William H. Turner, I don't know what it is. I'm gonna tell y'all, that's what they do. That's what they do. They talk it like they already have it, like they already know it. I don't know how many people I work with, y'all, that are so mediocre. And they get on a call with somebody that's higher up and they going for it. I've actually had gentlemen that I work with, maybe we were partnering on a deal or something to get something closed, and we would get into a meeting and they would just be popping. They'd be popping out all the confidence, popping stuff that I did. And then they have enough nerve to come back to me and say, yeah, I know that was your idea. Anyway. So you got to. No, you did.
That's what you heard. That's what you heard in your head when.
Wait. You wrong for that.
That's what you heard in your head when they said that.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Oh my God.
So, you know, make sure you stand in your confidence. Make sure you mean what you say. And if you take anything from those ideas that we gave you, just remember the one about not ever apologizing. Don't say I'm sorry. Don't say it.
Yeah, it's all good.
Okay. Well, I think that's it for the evening, babe. It's 9:00.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where did the hour go?
Where did the hour go?
Sharing is caring.
Thanks for joining us this evening.
Time show flies when you're having fun. And we appreciate you. We know that you could be doing other things.
Yes.
You spent some time with Queen Tracy and I this evening, and we are appreciative.
Thank you.
If you have a comment,
don't forget to drop it.
Drop it in the comments. Tracy and I answer all of our comments.
Hit that like button.
Hit that like button, please. Share this if there's information that you think is valuable for someone else.
And then remember,
work hard now so you don't have to later.
Good night.